in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Are we currently held prisoner in a salt trap? I have discovered a common theory that defines death as a revolving door of reincarnation. There's quite a bit of information that covers this. People who have had near-death experiences have reported similar observations of a white light, familiar beings, a life review, and eventually being placed back into their bodies. A theory is that when we die, the white light is a trap. Simply put, you go into the light. A being shows you a life review, and based off that review you're not worthy to access the next level and have to return to Earth in a new body to start the process over again. I find this somewhat believable. The reason this is so disheartening to me is I am a Christian. It makes my stomach knot up to think that everything that I believe in could be a lie. A facade to trap me into believing that I am not good enough to proceed to heaven, and that upon my death the weight of my sins will require me to return to earth with no memory of my past and blankly start over again. Without the memory of the previous life, the lessons learned, how can one learn from the life lessons they have had? If this is so, we are set up to repeat our actions in a vicious cycle. Essentially, we are set up to fail. Since reading up on this information, I have had a hard time standing in my faith. I fall back to what I have been told, that if you believe in Jesus and that he died for your sins, you will in fact never perish and have everlasting life. The only problem I have now with that is that it's a very vague statement, and unfortunately reincarnation would very easily mean everlasting life. Most people who report having a near-death experience stated that they did not want to return from where they went. They report that the feeling of peace and tranquility was wonderful. They did not want to leave. If we are truly reincarnated, this explains to me why babies come into this world kicking and screaming, crying as if they've lost a fighting battle. An obvious and probably the most important question is, who could be the ones trapping us? There are many theories. UFOs called the Anunnaki is the most general answer, but there is a lot of deep information that can take you through a rabbit hole of mind-blistering thought. Some say that our reality is just a matrix. Some say that the catchers thrive off the negativity that we face daily. That the negativity is created by them. War, death, murder feed them. That somehow our sorrow and pain, our hate, prayers, even our worship, fuels them. So if all this is true, who are we really? Some say that we're supreme beings that have no beginning or end, free to wander the entire everything, that there are many like us from different galaxies, universe, dimensions, and somehow we're in this dimension on this life plane because we were deceived by a malicious group of beings and trapped into slavery. A form of slavery that we do not even understand. Others say that we are the lost civilization of Atlantis, and that the Anunnaki came to this planet and tricked us to do their bidding. That we are free-formed spirits, or souls trapped in an organic machine called the human body. We are dumbed down from our original form, to say the least. I encourage you to research this subject and do so with the utmost discernment. Unfortunately for us, there's a possibility that no one knows the truth except those who have already passed on. People die every day, and people are born every day, but here on Earth we're not sure what happens in between. I read an article that stated the best thing to do when you do pass on is to avoid the light altogether. To turn from it essentially and run. That once you do this, you'll leave the matrix and experience true freedom. But I have read another article that states there is no freedom. You can turn away from the light, but you'll be stuck in this matrix because essentially it is locked down by a grid that holds our energy in, and until the grid is shut down, all souls are trapped. You would become a ghost. This reminds me of stories where people claim to contact ghosts and tell them to go to the light. Perhaps we should not tell them that. Ha ha ha. I simply do not know what to believe. I do, however, believe that I am not alone in not knowing. There is something special about me. There is something special about others like me, those who want to know the truth and who are looking for answers. I sometimes get the feeling that I can serve a role to help save us. Maybe you feel the same. The only thing in life that's a sure thing is death, so why do so many people just avoid the topic? Are we programmed to do so? A reoccurring thought I have, that is a scary thought. A thought that no one seems to have comment on, is this. If freedom is as simple as dying, turning away from the light and essentially stepping out into freedom, the only thing stopping us is the fear of death. Death can happen at any moment. We can even choose when it does. Could suicide and the proper preparations be our way to freedom? This sounds very cultish, I know. What if the fears we have programmed into us are there to keep us from ever escaping? As we grow from children, we are taught to fear death and to fear hell. We are taught to fear God, to not question God. We are taught to live by rules and commandments that as humans seem near impossible to keep. Is it all a ruse? When we get to the point of death, what if our options at that time to try again, reincarnate, or face hell? Obviously, with what we are taught here, reincarnation is the least scary. This is a simple theory, nothing to take to heart. I please ask that you comment on this video with your own interpretations and experiences. If you have found this video, chances are we are doing the same searching and have many of the same questions. I wish you all peace, love and freedom.